What's up and welcome, Olympus Mons, the Above Limits podcast. Trump signed an executive order to mandate the meat processing plants stay open, even with outbreaks of COVID-19 happening both in the U.S. and Canada. And you know, I used to drive a bus for that was one of the jobs I had, and to me when I would pick these people there, well, my bus route went to the meat processing plant here in Texas, and the type of people that work there, someone told me they're it's full of basically a lot of immigrant work there, but I wouldn't even say that, at least in my town, there wasn't. I guess some of them may have been immigrants, but the majority of people that worked there were okay. I can give you a layout of who would work there. Okay, let's say you wanted to smoke weed all day, but you still wanted to work, and they wouldn't really give a shit if you smoked weed. Um, those people would work there. Or let's say you're on probation or you just got out of jail and nobody will hire you because you're a felon. um, they would hire you. And let's say who else would work there? Just people that, oh, well, there were some people that were, I know of one person, and he kind of speaks to the type of people that work there. They're really, they didn't have even a GED, and but they worked. They were hard workers, and they would get up at 4 o'clock and they would drink their coffee and go work and be a good employee. Those are the type of people that work at these at least the local meat processing plant. And um, for Trump to have signed that executive order, it must have been very serious. Somebody must have advised him, like, hey, if we stop selling meat, like if we can't if the food supply is disrupted, which this is like a new thing that was put upon us here recently, because with this coronavirus, it's like a day-to-day thing with new shit that's, the oil prices one day just drop into the negative, and what it's doing to the economy and what it's doing to people. If meat's not in the store, you're gonna have people freaking out. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, oh, there's no meat, and this is not my original thought. Somebody told me this is that, chaos and anarchy is like 7 meals away, at any time. So if you miss 7 meals, people start doing desperate things to feed their families. So uh, this is also not a an original idea. This is something that one of my friends told me. He says, it's weird that the meat processing plants are being, within the United States and Canada, are all being affected with COVID-19 outbreaks. But you don't see that in the in the grocery store. You don't see that in where I work in the refineries, but you see it where in our food supply, a major part of our food supply, because many people aren't going to become vegetarian uh, during or after this COVID-19 outbreak. And that's one thing I would suggest. I've been suggesting. I mean, I'm lacking it in myself. Is to, you should be fucking rationing yourself on how much you're eating, because uh, a year and a half from now, Trump may not be able to save us, and you people might be very food may be very scarce, like The Walking Dead, where you find a can of peaches, and that's the highlight of your month. You know what I mean? So I mean, it won't get to that extent, but um, we're seeing a lot of strange things. So never say never. But also getting off of your dependence of meat might be a good thing, because you can always plant stuff. We're not in nuclear winter where we can't plant things, and vegetables might be the only thing that you have until that's gone, but meat might be in uh, where might be too late. I mean, because if we're seeing all across the North America spikes in packing plants that are have 400 employees sick of COVID-19. That's a big deal, and you know uh, you got to question why. Maybe that's terroristic terrorist attack, or you know whatever. I mean, you got to question these things. Why is it why is it just happening there? It's not happening at the grocery store where everybody's at, to go get the shit. And you know also, this is a part where the federal government's failing, because they're like uh, the Senate and Trump don't want to spend any more money. Like, Trump was asked, "Are you thinking about another stimulus?" And he was like, the economy was the best it's ever been." He's like, that's all he said. It's like the economy was the greatest in the whole world, and ever in existence was the greatest. But he didn't answer the question. Hey, are you going to give money? Because the answer is no. They don't want to spend no more money. And he might be getting advice that, hey, we can't sustain people universal basic incomes to that will make the United States weaker in the world economy. Partially because nobody else in no other countries can probably do it. They can't afford it to make sure everybody has a place to stay and a little bit of food, and their electricity paid. Uh, so Trump's like, if you ask these farmers, they're like, well, what do they have to do? They have nowhere to house these animals, and they just keep on breeding and breeding. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, think of the number when you're in a factory farming or whatever. I mean, think of the amount of cattle. Like, my uncle was a rancher. He had like 46 head of cattle, and from that 46, within a couple of years, he had 80 something. But like a big factory farming, I mean, they're constantly producing I don't know, animals to kill and fill shopping grocery stores with. So they don't know what to do. I mean, the obvious thing would be is like, okay, well, let's obviously take a breath, but the government needs to step in, and they of course separate the animals, the males from the female, and the government comes in and assists in feeding these animals until they're available to be slaughtered, and until it can be managed. You know what I mean? In the meantime, and what does it take for these people to live? I mean, it's not about profits now. It's about living. You know what I mean? So what do you need to live? Okay, you need this amount of money. Well, the government's going to help you with that, and the government needs to help. And do that. I mean, I think chickens might be a lost cause because chickens breed so much, and I don't think you're gonna. I don't know if there's a way to know by looking which one's a male, which one's a female, or whatever chickens do to mate. I guess I don't know. I don't know the process in chickens. You know what I mean? But I think chickens may be a lost cause. But it's a fucking chicken. It's not like how much does one chicken cost for a chicken farmer? And if the government needs to step in for that, let them step in. And have people calm down and until we get this thing figured out. Because the like I said, the main thing is not about profits. The main thing's about living. What do you need to live right now during these times? It's like war times, dude. So this is Olympus Mons, the Above Limits podcast. If you feel like this was a good video, subscribe to the channel. You can talk to me on the Discord. That's my Discord name, and we can talk and share ideas and maybe come up with build a community on these ideas and positivity. We'll see you.